What if Jesus prayed for you long before you ever existed? What if your life, your faith, your struggles were already on his heart thousands of years ago? And what if the unity we often overlook is actually the key to something far greater than we imagine? There is a moment in Scripture that feels almost timeless, a moment where the words spoken are not limited to a single group, a single place, or a single generation. It stretches beyond history and reaches into the present. In Gospel of John, chapter 17, verses 20 to 26, Jesus does something extraordinary. After praying for himself, after praying for his disciples, he expands his focus. His words move beyond the people physically standing around him. He begins to pray for all who will believe in him through their message. That includes you. That includes anyone who has ever heard, received, and held on to the message passed down through generations. This is not a general blessing. It is a specific, intentional prayer that crosses time itself. And what does he pray for? Unity. Father, I pray that all of them may be one. At first, this might seem simple, almost too simple. But the depth of this request is far greater than it appears. Jesus is not talking about surface-level agreement, not just people getting along or avoiding conflict. He is speaking about a deep, spiritual unity that reflects something eternal. He continues, just as you are in me and I am in you. This is the standard, not human unity, divine unity. The same connection, the same closeness, the same oneness that exists between the Father and the Son. That is what Jesus is praying for in the lives of believers. This changes how we understand connection, because unity here is not based on similarity, not based on background, culture, personality, or preference. It is based on something deeper, a shared relationship with God, a shared identity, a shared purpose. And then Jesus reveals why this matters so much, so that the world may believe that you have sent me. Unity is not just for comfort. It is not just for internal peace. It is a witness. It is evidence. It is something that speaks to the world. In other words, how believers live in connection with one another has an impact far beyond themselves. It influences what others see, what others believe, what others understand about God. This is powerful, because it means that unity is not optional. It is essential. And yet when we look around, unity is often one of the hardest things to maintain. Differences arise, opinions clash, misunderstandings happen, and slowly division begins to form. But Jesus' prayer calls us back to something higher, something deeper than disagreement, something stronger than division. He is not ignoring differences. He is pointing to a greater connection that exists beyond them, a unity rooted in him. Then he says, I have given them the glory that you gave me, that they may be one as we are one. This introduces another layer. Glory, not in the sense of fame or recognition, but in the sense of presence, identity, and connection. Jesus is saying that what he has received from the Father, he has shared with those who believe. This means that unity is not something we create on our own. It is something that flows from what has already been given. It is a reflection of something we have received, and that changes how we approach it. Instead of trying to force unity, we begin to live from it. Instead of striving to create connection, we recognize that it already exists at a deeper level, and we choose to align with it. Jesus continues, I in them and you in me, so that they may be brought to complete unity. This is not partial, not temporary. Complete unity, a kind of connection that goes beyond circumstances, beyond differences, beyond challenges. And again, he points to the result. Then the world will know that you sent me and have loved them even as you have loved me. This is one of the most powerful statements in this prayer. God's love for believers is compared to his love for Jesus. Not less than, not slightly similar, but the same kind of love. This is difficult to fully grasp, because many people struggle to believe that they are truly loved at that level. We often measure love based on performance, success, approval. But here, love is not earned. It is given. It is rooted in relationship, and it is consistent. Jesus is praying that this love would be realized, experienced, lived out. Because when people understand that they are loved, it changes how they live. It changes how they see others. It changes how they respond to conflict, to pressure, to difference. Love becomes the foundation, and from that foundation, unity grows. Then Jesus says something deeply personal. Father, I want those you have given me to be with me where I am. This is not just about life on earth. This reaches into eternity. Jesus is expressing a desire for closeness, for presence, for relationship that continues beyond this life. He wants believers to be with him, to see his glory, to experience what he has known with the Father. This reveals the heart behind everything. This is not about rules, not about systems, not about external structure. It is about relationship, about being with him, about sharing in something eternal. And then he closes with these words, "I have made you known to them, and will continue to make you known, in order that the love you have for me may be in them, and that I myself may be in them." This brings everything together: revelation, love, presence. Jesus has revealed the Father. He continues to reveal, so that love can live within believers, so that his presence can remain. This is not a distant idea. It is something personal, something ongoing, something alive. As we step back and look at this prayer, we begin to see a different perspective. It is not just about what we believe. It is about how we live connected. Connected to God, connected to one another, connected to purpose. And in that connection, something powerful happens. Unity becomes a witness, love becomes visible, and faith becomes something that others can see, not just hear. But this also raises an important question. If unity is so important, why is it so difficult? The answer is not simple. Because unity requires something that goes against natural tendencies. It requires humility. It requires patience. It requires the willingness to look beyond differences and focus on what is shared. It requires letting go of the need to always be right, letting go of pride, letting go of division, and choosing connection. Not because it's easy, but because it matters. Because it reflects something greater. Because it aligns with the prayer of Jesus. And this is where the shift happens. Instead of seeing unity as optional, we begin to see it as essential. Instead of focusing only on what separates, we begin to focus on what connects. Instead of allowing differences to divide, we allow purpose to unite. This doesn't mean ignoring truth. It doesn't mean compromising what matters. It means holding on to truth while choosing love. Holding on to identity while choosing connection. Holding on to purpose while choosing unity. And when that happens, something changes. Not just internally, but externally. Because people begin to notice. They see something different, something deeper, something that cannot be easily explained, and that becomes a witness, a reflection of something greater, a glimpse of the kind of unity that Jesus prayed for. So wherever you are right now, whatever your experience has been, this prayer speaks to you. You are included, you are seen, you are part of something that began long before you and will continue far beyond you. And you are invited into a unity that reflects something eternal. A unity that is not based on perfection, but on connection. A unity that is not fragile, but rooted. A unity that points to something greater than ourselves. So the question becomes not just what you believe, but how you live that belief. How you connect, how you respond, how you reflect the love that has been given to you. Because in that, this prayer becomes more than words. It becomes reality. Thank you for watching this video. If this message spoke to you, don't forget to like, follow the channel, and share this video with someone who might need this today.